Hi everyone, welcome to Crochet Diva. Today I'm going to share with you a crochet tutorial of scarf with pocket. This video is a part of a collaboration. We 6 YouTube creators of crochet tutorial has become a team of collaboration. Today we are going to do crochet scarf. I'm inviting you to watch the other YouTubers crochet scarf video tutorial. I have put the links in the video description box. Hope you will like it. I do crochet tutorials and tips in Crochet Diva. Crochet scarf I'm going to show you today is in charcoal and deep red or maroon color. As these colors are really dark and it's not that much visible in the camera, I'm going to do this tutorial in some light color so that it would be really easy for you to watch this video. You will need 100 gram of double knit yarn in each color. So if you use one color, there would be like 200 grams to do this scarf. Also we'll need crochet hook number 5mm, stitch markers, tapestry needle, measuring tape and pair of scissors. I have made this scarf for my boy, so it's a man color. He chose charcoal and maroon color. As you can see, the pattern is really easy pattern and it got good, nice, lovely texture. It's easy to do and only 2 patterns repeat. So I'm going to show you the width of this scarf. It's 8 inch. If you want, you can make it bigger or wider, depends on you. I have given the chart of the size measurement in the description box. This is how I started. You can see I have started with charcoal, then I have added maroon. Again I did the middle with charcoal, so this is the middle part, and I have added maroon at the end, and I have finished the last part with charcoal. It has a really nice pattern, and as you can see, the edges are really smooth. My son really loves it. I hope you will love it too. As it is a repeat of 2 patterns, you can make it even watching your favorite TV program. It's that much easy pattern. Instead of charcoal, I'm going to use pink color here to start the pattern. I'm going to make a slip knot now. For this pattern, you will need even number of chains, and you can take more chains. I have taken 26 chains for this pattern. You can take more chains if you want to make the scarf wider more, or if you want less wide, then you can take less chains. For this pattern we are going to do 26, so I already have started 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 and 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 and 26. After doing 26 chains, we'll add one more chain. This last one chain would be the turning chains. In row 1, I will show you a different method of doing stitches in the chain. So instead of going in the, you can see the loops that looks like a V shape. Instead of going inside of these chains, we'll go and try to make stitches in the back of the chains. It's sometimes called bone or back loop. So the first, this is the second one, so this is the second loop. So we'll go into this one, and then third one, this is the third loop. So as you can see, we are not going inside, we are going into the back of these chains. In this way we are going to do the single crochet in the back of the chains. So you can see we'll skip the first. In the second chain's back loop, we are going to do a single crochet. By doing this, you will get a really nice kind of like stitch texture. So I'm going to mark my first stitch with a stitch marker. Let's do the second stitch, so it will be in the next back loop of the chain. In this way we are going to do 26 single crochet, one in each of the back loop of single crochet. If you are not comfortable with this method, you can still continue by doing single crochet as a traditional method. So I already have done 4 single crochet. I was doing these single crochets in the bump of the chains. So now I will show you how it looks like from the bottom. It gives a really nice texture, and you can add tassels or you can add fringes really easily here. We'll continue until we reach 26 single crochet. To the last stitch of this row, as you can see, I'm going to do the last single crochet in the bump of the last chain. This is how my first row looks like. Finish row 1 by making chain 2. This last chain 2 would be the turning chains for the next row. Then we are going to turn this project. This chain 2 will not count as a stitch, and if you want as a beginner, you can mark the last stitch so you know where your last stitch is.
Now
I have marked it with a stitch marker. Now we are going to turn this project.
To start row 2, we'll turn around.
In row 2, we'll not count the first 2 chains as a stitch. So we are going to do 1 double crochet in the first stitch. The first stitch I already have marked it with a stitch marker. So as you can see, I have marked it with a stitch marker. To do a double crochet, you can see I already have yarn over, then the hook will go into the stitch, yarn over again and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, and then yarn over again and pull through the last 2 loops. Now I'm going to mark this first stitch, so you know where your first stitch is with a stitch marker, so that it would be easier for you to find out your first stitch. So we are going to do 1 double crochet in each of these stitches till we reach the last stitch. And in this row I'm going to show you how to do the smooth edges. Especially I already have shown you how to do the first stitch. I will do how I have done the last stitch. If you follow this pattern of doing first and last stitches, you can maintain a good and smooth edges. We'll come back after doing all of the stitches when I reach the last stitch. Here I have come back after doing all of these stitches. As you can see, it already has started to getting a good shape. So I'm going to do the last stitch now before I have 1 more stitch left. So I will do 1 double crochet in this stitch. Now I will show you how I have done the last stitch. It's a bit tricky, so instead of doing a double crochet in the last stitch, we are going to do double crochet 2 together. Let's see how we can do double crochet 2 together. Yarn over, and then hook goes into the stitch, yarn over again, pull up a loop. Now you can see you have 3 loops in your hook. We'll yarn over again and pull through the first 2 loops. You can see you have 2 loops in your hook, yarn over again, and hook goes into the stitch, pull up a loop. Now you have 4 loops in your hook and yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops. So first only the first 2 loops. and now you have 3 loops in your hook. When you have 3 loops in your hook, yarn over again and pull through the last 3 loops. Ta-da, it's done. So this is how we're gonna do the last stitches of double crochet rows or these rows. So if you want, you can mark this stitch with a stitch marker, and as usual we are going to do chain 2 now. This chain 2 does not count as a stitch. We are going to turn the project here. Basically row 3 to 15 are repeat of row 2. That means these are double crochet rows. So I'm going to do 1 double crochet in the first stitch, as I have done in row 2. So you can see I'm doing a double crochet in the first stitch. Then we are going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch. If you want, you can mark your first stitch with a stitch marker. Now we are going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch until we reach the last stitch. This pattern has a right and wrong side. That means it has front and the back of this project. Odd number of rows are in front side, as number 3 is an odd number row. So we are going to mark this side so that we know this is our front of the or right side of the project. Keep doing 1 double crochet in each stitch until you reach the last stitch of these rows. Here you go, I'm at the last stitch of this row, and I will show you how I have done the last stitch. This stitch I already have marked it with the stitch marker, so it would be easier for you to recognize it. I'm going to do double crochet 2 together in this stitch. So yarn over, hook goes into the stitch, yarn over again and pull up a loop.
You got 3 loops in your hook.
Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. You have 2 loops in your hook.
Then again,
You'll yarn over again and hook goes into the same stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 4 loops, yarn over again and pull through the first 2 loops. Now when you have 3 loops in your hook, you will yarn over and pull through all of these loops. Ta-da! This is how you do the last stitch. If you keep following these tricks, you will have really nice and even and smooth edges in each row. As you can see, it already has started to build up. Now do your turning chains. I'm going to do chain 1 and chain 2. If you want, you can mark your last stitch and then turn your project over, repeating these rows. This is my whole scarf that I have done. You can see I have done only double crochet rows in there, some plain double crochet rows. This is to add the pockets, so I wanted to get a thick texture here just to add the pockets. So I have done this double crochet rows until I reached row number 17, and when I reached row number 17, I have started. You will be able to notice that I have started different pattern. This is the main pattern of this scarf, and this pattern is called crossover treble crochet rows. Now I will show you how I have done this pattern. I hope you have finished row 15. So we are in pretending I'm in row 16 now. So I will show you how I have done row 16. So we are going to start with a double crochet in the first stitch. So as you can see, I have done a double crochet in the first stitch. In the next stitch, I will do another double crochet. We are going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch. This is the same row like the others, but with a little difference. If you want, you can mark your first stitch. I'll be back after doing all of this double crochet when I reach the last stitch. I have reached the last stitch of this row. This is row number 16. So in the last stitch we are going to do 2 double crochet together. It would be better if you can mark your last stitch with a stitch marker so that you recognize your last stitch and first stitch. To end this row, I will do chain 3. This chain 3 will be turning chain but doesn't count as a stitch. After that, turn your project. We are ready for next row. We are going to start the main pattern of this scarf here. So we are going to do the crossed treble crochet row patterns, and make sure you are in the right side of your project. I have used a stitch marker to recognize the right side of this project. So we are going to take off the stitch marker and do 1 treble crochet in the first stitch. To do the treble crochet, I have wrapped yarn twice, hook goes into this first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. If you look carefully, you have 4 loops in your hook. Now I'm going to yarn over again and pull through the first 2 loops. 1, 2. You can see I have 3 loops now. Yarn over again and pull through the next 2 loops. Yarn over again and pull through the last 2 loops. This is how you are going to do the first stitch of this pattern. I'm going to mark it with a stitch marker. Next, I will show you how I have done the crossed treble crochet stitches. So I will skip this stitch. Have a closer look. I will skip the next stitch. I mean this stitch I will skip, and we are going to work in the next stitch. This is, so in other words, in the third stitch we are going to work. We'll skip the second stitch. So I have wrapped twice, yarn over twice, and then hook goes into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, and yarn over again, pull through the last 2 loops. This is how you are going to do the treble crochet. I'm going to show you again. Now we are going to work in the stitch that we already have skipped. So I'm going to do 1 treble crochet in that stitch. I've wrapped twice, yarn over twice, then hook goes into the stitch. It's a bit tricky, but if you keep doing it, it will get easier. Yarn over, pull up a loop. You got 4 loops in your hook. Yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, pull through the next 2 loops, and yarn over again, pull through the last 2 loops. In this stitch, you need to be a little bit relaxed when you do the crochet stitch. It should not be too tight. Okay, how I have done it again. So I will do yarn over twice, skip this stitch, and in the next stitch we are going to do a treble crochet. Yarn over twice, hook goes into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next, and yarn over, pull through the last 2s. So now we are going to do a treble crochet in the stitch we have skipped. Yarn over twice, hook goes into the stitch. From the back you wrap your yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2, then next 2, and yarn over, pull through the last 2s. As you can see, we already have created this pattern and it looks so beautiful. Let's do it again. So as you can see, I have worked this stitch and that stitch. So after this 2, I will skip this one. Yarn over and hook goes into the next stitch. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, again yarn over and pull through the last 2s. Yarn over twice, hook goes into the skipped stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2, then yarn over, pull to the next 2, and yarn over, pull through the last 2. By following this pattern, we are going to do crossed treble crochet stitches in all of these stitches until we reach the last stitch, which is here. I have marked it with the stitch marker, and I will show you how I have done the last stitch. To maintain the smooth edges, it is really important for you to see how I have done the last stitch. Here you go, you can see I have done all of these crossed over treble stitches. Now I have reached the last stitch. I have done 12 sets of crossed over treble crochet stitches. Now I'm going to work in the last stitch. So we are going to do treble crochet 2 together in the last stitch. Start by wrapping yarn twice over your hook,
and then
hook goes into the last stitch.
Last one,
yarn over, pull up a loop.
Now you can see I have
four loops in your hook, yarn over and pull through the first loops. Now you have three loops in your hook, yarn over again, hook goes into the same stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. You can see I have 5 loops in my hook, yarn over again and pull through the last 2. Now I have 4 loops in my hook. When I have 4 loops in my hook, I will yarn over and pull through the first 3 loops. So I have passed first 3 loops.
I have 2 loops in my hook.
Now I have 2 loops in my hook, yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. This is how you are going to do the last treble crochet.
Just to maintain this,
and
you can see that this,
as you can see, it gives a really nice and smooth edges, so it's not like jig-jag.
If you look at this,
if you want, you can
learn it easily.
mark your last stitch with the stitch marker so that you can maintain the edges smoothly.
I'm going to repeat.
Next, for turning chain, I will do 2 chains. Chain 1, chain 2, and then turn my project over.
Row 18.
We'll do row 18 now. As you can see, my row 18 is in the wrong side. So from now, because we are going to do repeat pattern of treble crochet row and a double crochet row, so we are going to do the double crochet rows in wrong side of the project. I have started with a double crochet in the first stitch, then I'm going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch until I reach the last stitch. So for this row, we are going to do this row, we are going to follow row 16. This is the same row as row number 2, so we can call it a double crochet row. Do 1 double crochet in each stitch of this row. This is the last stitch, and we are going to do double crochet 2 together in the last stitch. This row is same like row 16, so at the end we'll do chain 3. So we are going to mark the last stitch here, then we are going to do chain 3, and this chain 3 will be the turning chains for the next row, and we are going to turn the project over. There's a 2 row in this main pattern. One is treble crochet row, this one, which ends up with chain 2 as a turning chain for the next row, following by a double crochet row which ends up with 3 chains as a turning chain for the next row, treble crochet row. Let's go back to my main scarf. Here you can see I have done treble crochet row following by a, this is the treble crochet row following by a double crochet row, then I have done a treble crochet row again, then following by a double crochet, treble crochet, and then double crochet. I have changed the color here, and you can see I have changed the color in treble crochet row. So I have started the treble crochet row in different color. If you want to keep up with the same color, you can continue doing so you don't need to change the color. I have done a few more rows of like treble crochet, then double crochet, treble crochet, then double crochet like this. Now I'm at the end of row 22. Here I'm going to show you how to change the color. So we are at the end. So when you change the color, you should change at the end of double crochet round. Yarn over the hook, hook goes into the last stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2. You have 2 loops in your hook, yarn over again, hook goes into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the last two. So you have 3 loops in your hook. When you have 3 loops in your hook, we are going to add the new yarn. For this tutorial, instead of maroon, I'm going to use silver. You can see I already have made a slip knot. So I'm going to pull up the loop of this slip knot here through all of these stitches. That's it, we have done the color changing. Next, we are going to cut off the last color. Here I'm going to cut off the yarn of silver. And as usual, I'm going to do 3 chains. Get ready for the next treble crochet row. So this treble crochet row would be in my new color. Turn your project here and you are ready to do the next row of treble crochet, following by a double crochet row. In this pattern, odd rows are treble crochet row and even rows are double crochet row. I have added the patterns how I have done the scarf, the main scarf. I have added the full pattern of how I have done my scarf. You can use your own pattern of color using, or even you can do it in one color. I hope you will like this video. If you like this video, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel Crochet Diva. I'll be really grateful if any one of you get inspired by this video. We are going to do a row of single crochet to finish this scarf and then add the pockets. And this is the first part of my scarf. As you can see, I have added solid double crochet rows here so that I can add my pocket of this scarf. This is the pocket I'm going to add here, and then I have started the main pattern of treble crochet and double crochet in the same color, charcoal. It was following by a treble crochet, then a double crochet row. This is the treble crochet row, then I have done a double crochet row. Same like I have changed the color in the next part. As you can see, I have changed the color to maroon, and this is the same pattern of treble crochet and double crochet. Then I have done the middle part. Middle part is in charcoal color, is along middle part. Same pattern, just repeat, and at the end, this is the last part. At the end, I have come back to maroon color, and after finishing the maroon color, I have used 3 rows of treble in charcoal color. Then I have finished this whole scarf in double crochet rows of charcoal color. We're going to add 2 pockets at the end of 2 sides, and you need to make sure your pockets are in the front side of this project, in the right side of this project. I have marked the front side with a marker so that it would be easier for you to find the front. Let's start making the pockets. We need to make 2 of this. I'm going to start with silver for demonstration purpose. I already have made a slip knot, and I'm going to do chain 20 plus 1 for turning, so it's altogether 21. Now in row 1 I will do a single crochet in the second chain from my hook. So as you can see, I have done a single crochet. If you want, you can mark your first stitch with a stitch marker. Next, I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch until I reach the last stitch. So in each stitch I will do 1 single crochet. End of this row there will be 20 single crochet. Keep making 1 single crochet in each chain until you reach the last chain. I will show you how I have done the last. Done all of the single crochet, so I'm in the last stitch. Here I'm going to do chain 2. This chain 2 will be the turning chain for the next row. If you want, you can mark your last stitch. Turn your project here. We are in the second row. We'll do 1 double crochet in the first stitch and one. If you want, you can mark your first stitch with a stitch marker. Then we'll do 1 double crochet in each stitch until we reach the last stitch. Do a double crochet 2 together in the last stitch, yarn over, then hook goes into this last stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, again yarn over, hook goes into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. When you have 3 loops in your hook, yarn over and pull through all of these loops. Then do chain 2 and turn. This first chain 2 will be the turning chain and doesn't count as a stitch. Do 12 more rows of row 2 and in the last row, row 15, do a row of single crochet. Now add your pockets at the bottom of one side. Make sure you are in the front side. I already have added one. You need to sew 3 sides of this pocket and keep one side of the pocket open so that you can put your hand inside of the pocket. I'm going to show you how I'm going to add the other pockets on the other side. Start with a matching color yarn and then sewing needle so that you can sew this pocket to the scarf. Make sure you work on the 3 sides of this pocket. Keep the front side open and both of the side needs to be in the right side. I'm going to start sewing this pocket from that side. I'm not good at sewing, but I'm still trying to show you how I have sewn this. I have done reverse stitches so that the pocket gets really strong for the kids. It's a really easy stitch. Just you need to go back of the stitch. Sew 3 sides of this pocket and keep the last side open. Do not forget to tidy up all of the yarn ends. This is how the pocket has turned up after sewing. I have done 2 of them in 2 sides. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you find it useful. If you find this video is useful for you, please do not forget to subscribe, like and share my videos. Happy crocheting!